So because I know I like to value time, I'm just going to jump in. So I'm going to list off a few comments for you, and some of them may resonate with you today. Maybe all of them do. Maybe they once resonated with you. Maybe you've heard other people say them. But I feel like I'm failing at everything. I have no idea what I am doing. I'm always busy, but I'm not getting the results. Have you ever said that one? I know I have. I think maybe I'm not cut out to be a business owner, especially if you come from the business world at one time and you thrived there, and now you're a business owner. This one can pop up a lot, which leads to maybe I should just go back to a regular job. Personally, I have said all of these. However, I'm happy to say that it doesn't need to be like this. Our ninjas know what to work on and when. They know how to balance working in the business with on the business, which is a very hard thing to do. They benefit from intentional relationship building, and that's what we're going to talk much more about today. And they have the skills and resources to counter that inner critic. And that inner critic is the one that was saying all those negative self-talk stuff that we talked about earlier. They also create space to continue to be the visionaries they are. And this is so important, especially on, when we were chatting at the beginning, we talked a lot about COVID burnout or COVID fatigue. And this is where you've got to create the space, or you're not going to have that mindset anymore to keep being the visionary that you are, because you're exhausted. And our world today is just plain exhausting, never mind being business owners. And one of our ninjas has recently told us that they have gotten more done in the last 12 weeks than over 4 years in their business. So that makes us very excited about what we do, and I love hearing stuff like that. So what do you need to succeed as a ninja? Well, you need to focus on mastering 4 key things. You have to master your craft or your specialty. That's the business you're in. You need to focus on mastering number 2, which is tools and processes for success. So really that's about looking at how you do things and putting it into a system or a process and then mastering it, so that once you do one thing, you can do it over and over. Okay, so number 3 was monetizing relationships. So you want to master monetizing relationships. And yes, I am using the words monetize. So we talk about intentional relationship building. When you intentionally build relationships in order to grow your business, you are monetizing them, because ultimately you want those relationships to bring you money. And there's nothing embarrassing or awkward about that. It's good. And finally, it's mastering your mindset. So all that garble goop and all that stuff that goes on in your head, you want to master that, including the knowledge. And I really dislike it when people talk about you've got to shut down the negative thoughts. You can't. They're going to be there. What you need to do is learn how to work with them. Say thank you very much for bringing awareness, and you keep going. So I've already introduced myself, but just a couple things in case you didn't know. I am a designated CPA, CGA. So for the other accountant in the group, I ran really far away from that career and have not looked back. I'm also a master neuro-linguistic programming coach with certification in NLP programming and quantum time release, which sounds all fancy, and it is, but it's fun. I'm also the owner of Inner Ninja Training and Coaching, which is formerly known as Relationship Marketing Ninja. And what does all of this mean? It means I'm the top ninja of my company, and we provide training and coaching for mission-driven entrepreneurs. And my specialty is taking the female entrepreneur from overwhelm to the kick-ass business owner that they are. So let's move into what you all came here for, which is the secret to growing your business with referrals. So this is my warning. These secrets are only for you if you care about making an impact. If you're just out there to, you know, just survive, then perhaps these ones aren't for you. If you would rather be, you know, just surviving rather than living and making a difference, then you're not a ninja. These secrets are for you if you think long term. There is nothing get rich quick about this at all. So if you're hoping that I'm going to give you the secret sauce to get rich, then you might want to turn your video off and mute me. Well, this is also not for you if you don't want to put in the work, because quite honestly, relationship building is work. But I do not want anyone to think that you need to put in 80 hours of work a week. In fact, as a ninja, we encourage you to create space, rest, and play. Because without those things, your cup is empty and you have nothing left to give to make an impact in this world. So if you said, yes, I want to make an impact, yes, I think long term, and yes, I'm ready to put in the work, then let's go. So, ninja secrets on how to grow your business with referrals. Number one is the easiest. Earn the referral. So how do you earn it? This is where all our other ninja secrets come from. But bottom line, earn the referral. Don't go begging for it. Don't ask for it. Earn it. It comes naturally if you earn it. Number two, focus on the relationships. By now, most of you have heard that famous term, people do business with those they know, like, and trust. That formula is flawed. People do business with those they know, like, and trust, and have a relationship with. How many realtors do you know?
Million.
Probably none?
Million.
Or just one? I know quite a bit, right, Gavin? Like, there's lots of you.
Everyone knows.
Yeah, and how many accountants do you know?
Good amount as well.
How many financial advisors do you know? Oh my gosh, how many people want to sell you insurance, right? So you might know lots, you might even trust a few of them, but who are you going to give your business to? The person you've developed a relationship with, and because you have a relationship with, they stay top of mind. So it's also a continued relationship. So this meeting that you guys have here every 2 weeks helps you continue those relationships. So this is easy, but how do you keep it going when it's not something like this? That's the harder part. If you think about it, biggest compliment you can ever get is when you get a referral from someone, right? Because that means that not only do they trust you, it does indicate you've done a good job with your relationship, but it also means that they're handing over that trust to that family, that friend, that associate, or that client. And when they do that, they're handing over their reputation to you. And that's a big freaking deal. Huge. So if you're getting a referral, you want to do a happy dance, because that means that you're doing a lot of things right. So focus on the relationships, build them, be helpful, be understanding, and that can sometimes be hard. Mingle with people, and that may mean doing things we may hate, which is, you know, drinks over Zoom, and amuse them. People do like to laugh, especially in today's world with COVID, and nurture your relationships. So you might wonder why I really focus on relationship building. I do it because business, relationships, and success are all about relationships, because business is all about people. Think about that. Like, really think about it. Your business is nothing more than a dream, your dream, but you need to bring people together to make that a reality. It brings the people such as your customers, your team, your support structure, your vendors, your referral partners. All of those people have to come together to make your dream a reality. What do all of those have in common? They're human beings, which means you have to develop the relationships with them. So there will never be a business, there'll never be your dream without people. So if you focus on the people, I believe everything else falls in place. So that brings us to ninja tip number 3. Add value with every interaction. That's it. Just focus on giving value. And ninja tip number 4 is the more value you give, the more you will receive. This is based on this little tiny law, a universal law called the law of reciprocity. I've had to practice to say that word, by the way. When you genuinely, and that is the key, genuinely, you want to give value, you want to connect because you honestly want to give. So this is where I talked about making an impact. You definitely want to do this genuinely. You want to help others, and when you do that, they genuinely try to help you back. It's just automatically built into our nature. It's a universal law that we can't even argue with. Here's another little secret. Give away that which you want most to receive. So if right now in COVID, you need some support, you need someone just to listen to you, need someone to vent to, then give that away, because what you give away is what you receive. If you want appreciation, give away appreciation. So if you're looking for some Google reviews, how about you try giving some of those away? If you want social media likes and comments, give away social media likes and comments. And that's such an easy give right now. Always make the first move. Don't wait for other people to do it for you. You start by giving first, and everything will come next. And I need to clarify, because people get this part confused, the law of reciprocity is not about keeping score. It's not a tit for tat kind of thing. So just because Damon gives me a referral doesn't mean I'm going to be in a position tomorrow to give Damon a referral back. But it is a universal law, and it means that what might happen is I have a referral for someone else, let's say Gavin. So I give a referral to Gavin. So I've received and I've given. The universe will work all together and ensure that Damon gets back what he needs or is looking for or wants. So I've talked about giving value, and you may have seen that and said, okay, but what exactly does that mean? Well, here you go. It's a bonus tip. Giving value means one of two things: giving people what they need and making people feel good. That's it. And sometimes what you give them, they might not know that they wanted it or needed it, but you do, because you are a master in your specialty or your craft. And what they need to make them feel good, that could be an article that you saw that you thought would be of, you made you think about them and you forward it off. Maybe it could be a compliment about something you saw them post, or a congratulations on an award that they won. It could be sending them an email on a house that is similar to theirs in their neighborhood. I know I love to learn about what the houses in my neighborhood are selling for. I also like to know about why the market is the way it is, when it makes absolutely no sense to me, because we're in the middle of COVID. How can markets be still going up? But that's my accounting brain. It could be a high five after seeing something that they published, and you're like, hey, that was really well written. So ninja secret number 5, give great service. And please remember that giving great service starts the moment you answer the call and finishes when the product or service is delivered and used. My favorite example is, imagine right now you decide to leave after this meeting and you go through the drive-in at McDonald's and you pull up to the speaker and you place your order for a coffee. And the woman I picked a woman. It could have been a male, but likely it's a woman. On the other end of the speaker is awesome, and she sounds pleasant, and she makes the interaction easy, and you proceed through and you get to the payment window. And the payment window goes off like this, and she's nice and she smiles, she tells you to have a good day, and you proceed to the pickup window. And you pick up that coffee, and you've got a big smile on your face. What they didn't know is before you pulled into that drive-through, because it was Brampton, you almost had a near miss in the parking lot. So you were angry when you pulled up, right? But now you get to that checkout window and you are beaming because you've just had an awesome experience. You pull back out, you're driving on your way to wherever it is you have to go, and you take that first sip of coffee. It has milk and sugar in it, and you ordered it black. Right there, your experience, the great customer service that you tried to deliver, that experience went from wow to not good. So everybody that is in your funnel, that is in your delivery, is important every step of the way, from the moment they interact on your website to the moment you say goodbye and everything thereafter. If what you deliver isn't good, it doesn't matter how good the front end was. Hopefully that makes a little bit of sense. That brings us to ninja secret number 6, which is communicate, communicate, and can I tell you communicate? And this is more important than ever. You have to communicate to your clients every step of the way. Tell them how to do business with you. Are you open? Think about it right now. Are you even open? If you are open, how do I do business with you? Have you revised the way you and I interact? If I think about Joanne, how I've done business with an interior designer in the past is probably very different than how I'm going to do business with an interior designer over the next year. So my expectations have to be switched and changed. To give you the perfect example of this, I planned a visit to Niagara for wine tastings I think it was, I knew logically that I could no longer pull up to a winery, get out of my car, walk in and do a tasting. So I started doing research online. If you've ever researched for a Niagara winery, there's, I'm going to say 50. There's probably more, but let's just go with 50. As I went through and picked out a few wineries that I wanted to go to, I would then go on their website and check out. If they couldn't tell me how to do business with me, I went next because I'm busy. I'm not going to sit there and call all these people. I needed to know how and if they were open for business. Those ones that made it easy for me, especially even allowed me to click a button to book my wine tasting, they're the ones that I went to go visit because they communicated with me. So that's just in today's world and how much we have changed, but you also need to communicate all the way through the process. So you want to communicate what's going to happen next, set my expectations, because that's what kills most relationships is, misaligned expectations. Tell them what to expect and when, set their expectations, communicate during service, and most importantly, after. And right now in today's world, I don't think you can actually over communicate. Those that want lots of communication will appreciate it. Those that want a little bit less will just say thanks and move on. Both of these, give great service and communicate, 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 are really, really important to earning your referral. So ninja secret number 1 is earn the referral. These go a long way. Make the experience great. Let them know and communicate with them all along the way, and you're on your way to earning that referral. Ninja secret number 7 is my favorite, which is appreciate. And that means appreciate in my world properly. And that the key to this is remember that appreciation is about them. I'm sorry, guys, it's not about you. So who here likes to be liked or thanked? Do you like to be thanked? Yeah, thanks, Tim. Yeah, Gavin's nodding, thank you. Those are the ones I can see on my screen. I like to be thanked, even if it's for emptying the dishwasher, right? We all like to be thanked. But how often, especially for a purchase, are you thanked? How many of you have received a thank you email or a note, or maybe even a card that feels more like an upsell than a thank you? So very few people that do thank often treat it more like an upsell. And I see it a lot. And that doesn't make me feel good after the purchase. That doesn't make me feel like it was true appreciation. So think about some of the biggest purchases you have made, and have you ever received a thank you for it? Do you know that I have purchased many cars, used and new, and not once have I ever received a thank you card? Besides my house, it's one of my bigger purchases, right? I've never received a thank you. And if I do get anything remotely looking like a thank you, it's mostly to add on tires, service, mats. It's not a true thank you. So if you want a little thing to stand out with what you do, appreciate. And this is a great time of year to do it. Even if there's somebody that you haven't done business with in a while, this is a great time of year to say thank you. But if you want another ninja secret, actually don't do it in December, do it at the end of January. I believe that the holiday season has a limited shelf life, December 1st to December 30th. If you give appreciation, thanks for everything, thanks for your support, thank you for doing business with me, thanks for just being there, and you do it at the end of January, you can sit there until they no longer think it's the new year, and that could be March. So appreciation is a little thing, but it goes a long way. And then secret number 8, which is the last one, create opportunities for connection. And this is a little bit harder than before, let's be honest. Look for ways to connect. If you're going to an event, even one like this, reach out to a couple people and say, hey, I've got a great network and I'd love for you to meet them. It doesn't matter if they come. What matters to them is you thought about them and invited them. If you're going if you've tried out a new restaurant, you can even let some people know, hey, I'm going to stop by there and pick up. Do you want to meet me in a parking lot? Harder now that it's cold, but I know I've upgraded my winter coat in order to do this. Perhaps you're saying, hey, I'm going to Costco and you know of a couple of people that go there. Is there anything you need? Even if they say no, the fact that you remembered them and reached out for connection is what matters. If you have tickets to something, or you know of a webinar that's happening that would be of interest, connect, reach out. Again, even if they don't attend, it does not matter. You thought about them, and that's what matters. So find reasons to connect. Remember that people do business with and refer to those that they know, like, and trust, and have a continued relationship with. So when I think about a lot of your business is done today and then it's done, right? If I think about Joanne, you talked about that client that reached out to you from, what was it, 2007? Was that correct? You had to, or I hope, kept a relationship or some way to keep connecting with them over the years for them to think about you when it was time to, do their bathroom. That was a big bang. So bonus is just see the best in people. The reality is a lot of this is hard to do if you can't see the best in others. Okay, but that starts with seeing the best in yourself, and that's where the mind shift stuff comes from. If you can't see the best in yourself, it's really hard to see the best in others. We do believe that we attract ourselves, or we attract what we need to. So if you're in a good place, you will attract all of that as well. And the biggest secret of all is that you have to do all of that with intention. It doesn't just happen. You just don't wake up one day and feel like, hey, I'm going to connect to, 10 people today. You have to have a plan, and you have to do it on purpose. So building these relationships, having that stellar service, communicate, all have to do with doing it with intention. Sorry, especially for the extroverts who think that, you know, it just happens for me. You still have to have a plan. And with that, I'm happy to answer any questions, but I think I hit my time, which was meant that I planned appropriately. And yeah, I'll just leave it for questions for a second and then switch it over.
Jennifer, I'm impressed.
Do you run this as like a formal program for companies then?
That's a great question. So in the new year, we are launching Inner Ninja Advantage, which will be a 12-week program. It's 6 modules, and each module builds on these things, going from what you need foundation-wise, such as how people communicate and building rapport, all the way to some of the mind shift things we need as an entrepreneur. So that's launching in the new year. So thanks for asking that.
Cool. I might reach out to you. We might, I think I might be able to use something like this. Sorry, in the firm. So
Thanks.
That was well done. Explains why Sean's business runs so well.
Yes, clearly not me.
Actually, you know, that was one of a lot of things I did in his business was help implement a lot of processes. So things happened with intention. I will tell you that Sean and I are complete opposites, which left a lot of headbanging at the beginning. But now we've learned that each one has their strength in their lane. Sean is an incredible visionary, and I, you know, love the processes and that kind of thing. So we work very well together and have helped each other immensely.
You do work well together. It's impressive.